I, Mrs. Neera Sharma, will be explaining the poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost from your main textbook for Class 10, First Flight. Now, something about the poet Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American poet. He was known for his realistic depictions of rural life and his command of American colloquial speech, that is, casual conversation. Frost frequently wrote about settings from rural life in England in the early 20th century, using them to examine complex social and philosophical themes. Now, this is the poem that we are going to take up today, Dust of Snow. It is a 8-line, very simple poem, but it has a very deeper meaning. I read out the poem for you. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. The glossary, the meanings of a few words. Hemlock is a poisonous tree with small white flowers, and rude is held in regret. The theme of the poem, children, human complexity and animal simplicity is the theme of the poem, and nature is a healer which helps shun negative human emotions. The poem highlights the impact of small natural events on human beings. It was first published in the year 1923 in the book New Hampshire. This little poem has remained popular because it poses and puts forward two fundamental themes, human complexity and animal simplicity, in such a compact and symbolic form. The other outstanding feature of Dust of Snow is that it is so accessible, like many of Frost's most popular poems, the reader being taken under that same tree to experience the crow as well as the snow. And yet, as the analysis will show, there's much more going on in what appears to be in the lines of this simple, straightforward language of the poem. Now we move to the explanation of the first stanza. I read out the first 4 lines of the poem. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. The poem is set in a scene where, the poet is in a bad mood. He is in a terrible mood and is walking under a hemlock tree, which is a poisonous tree. And as he passes by, a crow happens to sit on that tree, and because of this movement, some dust of snow falls on the poet. The important thing to mention here is that the two agents of nature used by Robert Frost, one is the hemlock tree and other is the crow, and both are the harbingers of sadness, gloom and fear, and just like the poet's mood at present. And the explanation here is the way a crow shook down on me. The poet, as I said, is in a bad mood, and he's moving under this hemlock tree, and suddenly a crow perches on the branch of that hemlock tree, which is covered with the dust of snow, and because of this action of his perching on the tree branch, a dust of snow falls on the poet. So what are the consequences of this action? We'll be reading in the next 4 lines. Now the rhyme scheme of these 4 lines, the rhyme scheme is A B, and the rhyming words are crow, snow and me, tree. Now the explanation of the second stanza has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. The falling of the snow on the head of the poet has lifted his mood instantly. He was in a bad mood, as I said, and suddenly this action of the perching of the crow on the branch of this hemlock tree, which is covered by the dust of snow, and consequent falling of the dust of snow on the poet has lifted his mood. Okay, he has already spent his day in a bad mood, but the rest of the day now is saved as a result of this action. And generally, hemlock tree and crow are used for negative references, but the poet has used them beautifully to portray that inauspicious things can bring joy and happiness and can become a catalyst for positive change. One must be ready to accept whichever way the nature chooses to bless us. And the rhyme scheme now of these 4 lines is CD, CD, and the rhyming words are heart, part, mood, and rude. Now let us come to the literary devices. The first of all, the rhyme scheme, as I said, A B of the first four lines and C D of the next four lines. Alliteration, you have already done this in the previous classes. The occurrence of the same letter of sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. For example, in this poem, Dust of Snow, has given my heart, H and H, and saved some part. I have highlighted it with a red. An enjambment is when the same sentence continues to the next line without the use of any punctuation marks. It has been used throughout the poem. Let me show you how it is. Now in this one, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. No punctuation marks are used here, and it is, the line does not end. It is continuing till the next one also. And here in the first stanza also, the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Again, no punctuation marks, and this enjambment is used throughout the poem. Now, in the end, let us move to the message of the poem. The message given by Robert Frost in this poem is that a positive change can take place through negativity also. A little thing can make a huge or bring a huge change in life. Simple act of kindness can inspire others with enthusiasm and may bring huge change to their lives as it had brought to the life of the poet when the dust of snow fell on him, okay, because of the crow. Now children, since we've come to the end of the poem, we move on to the question answers of the poem. So what is a dust of snow? What does the poet say has changed his mood? How has the poet's mood changed? So the dust of snow refers to the tiny particles of snow. The particles are so small that the poet referred to them as dust. The poet was in an awful mood, terrible mood, okay, when the particles of snow had fallen on him. This changed the poet's frame of mind instantly, and his day got a lot better. So these, since children, we are not able to teach you physically in the class. Otherwise, we would have I would have told you people to write your own answers in your discussion notebooks. Since we are not able to do that, just to help you, just for this, for your aid, I am giving you these answers. It is not necessary for you to copy down these. You can add your own lines, you can use your own language. Okay, so we move to the next question. How does Frost present nature in this poem? The following questions may help you think of an answer. What are the birds that are usually named in poems? Do you think a crow is often mentioned in poems? What images come to your mind when you think of a crow? So birds like sparrow, nightingale, peacock, dove are more often used in the poems. Unlike these birds, crows are often seen as indicators of doom, fear. They are the harbingers of doom. They are often used for negative references. Now again, what is a hemlock tree? Why doesn't the poet write about a more beautiful tree such as maple or an oak or a pine? So trees are often seen as mighty creatures imparting wisdom. As they are too old, they give out oxygen, absorb the carbon dioxide, which is connected with absorbing all the negative energy. But there are trees that are poisonous, true, like the hemlock tree. The poet does not mention a more beautiful trees such as maple, oak, pine because he wants to indicate a bad scene. Being poisonous, the hemlock tree is considered bad, so he refers to it. Since he wanted to show that this tree is an inauspicious tree. Okay, so here also children, you can use some of the lines or you can add your own. These answers are only to help you people write the answers. Third one is, what do the crow and hemlock represent? Joy or sorrow? What does the dust of snow that the crow shakes off a hemlock tree stand for? So here again, both crow and hemlock tree represent children sorrow, doom. Frost has used both a negative creature, these crow and the hemlock tree, as the carriers of positivism and strength that transformed his day for the better. By not using words like sparrow, nightingale and trees like maple, oak or pine, the poet has tried to break down all the preconceived notions we have about certain agents of nature. He has tried to make us understand that we see the world not as how it is, but as how we want to see it. Thus the crow sitting and the hemlock tree together made his day better. The dust of snow stands for joy, the joy which has fallen on him. So the third question, children, I would like to emphasize that you people will be writing your own answers since it is based on your own experiences. So the question is, have there been times when you felt depressed or hopeless? Have you experienced a similar moment that changed your mood that day? So you have to write this in 100 words, children. First of all, you will write in your discussion notebooks, correct them, okay, see that there's no spelling mistake, then neatly fare out in 100 words in your fair notebooks. So in this you have to write your own experiences. So the questions that we have discussed today, you have to fare out in your fair notebooks, children, and you can use your own lines also in the answers which are given. So I hope you have understood the poem.